I'm here with the chairman of the Mid-Sussex League, Duncan Brooker. Duncan, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. We're going to ask you a few questions today. We're going to go through, try and get me an understanding of what clubs have got to do to get to step six. If you could start though, if you start with giving us sort of a bit of a background on the Mid-Sussex Football League and who you are and what you look after.
Okay, yeah, the Mid-Sussex Football League was formed in 1900. I think it was with 8 local teams, including Haywards Heath, Burgess Hill Town. Of that ilk, 7 of those clubs are still running in one form or another in one league. And since then, really, the league's grown and grown and grown. And we're now in a position where we are the biggest adult football league in Sussex on a Saturday. We've currently got 11 divisions, 2 of which are intermediate standard, the Prem and the Championship. And at the start of the season, I think we had 118 teams in our league, formed from about 60 football clubs. So it's a big league, and we have something in the order of 55, 60 matches every weekend.
So let's move on to the game today. We're here for the race to step six. 2 clubs hoping to be promoted down up to step 6. From a league perspective, what does it take for clubs to make that jump to step 6 from step 7?
I think the biggest step is having the right infrastructure for the club. Obviously, we're sitting at Ringmer now. We've got one of the best facilities in Sussex, not just in the Mid-Sussex, but across all football, I think. So you can clearly see from a football, from an infrastructure position, they're well suited. Westfield the same. They've got their new ground that was opened a year ago, which is quite impressive. And so both clubs are very fortunate there. One of the main things is to not get ahead of themselves. I believe that they need to get the right squad of players and the right manager that are committed to that football club, and they'll set their goals and targets realistically, because it's a big step up into senior football. Financially, it's a huge difference. You know, the costs of running just a match in senior football are probably 4 or 5 times fold easily of what it would cost to just put a Premier League game on in the Mid-Sussex.
Yeah.
So it's finances and having the right player squad that are committed to the club are the key things.
Drilling into that finance side of it, what do you think it would cost a club like Ringmer to get to where they are today, or Westfield to get to where they are today to be able to move into that step 6? How much do you think, especially here at Ringmer, that the facilities here are incredible?
It's difficult to put a figure on the money because it's all down to the ground grading. The 2 key differences between playing in our Prem and step 6, you need floodlights and you need an enclosed ground with at least 50-seater stand.
Yeah.
They've got that here, they're very lucky, but what we normally find with clubs that want to progress out of our league, they're looking to ground share.
Yeah.
And we've had that with previous clubs that have moved on from our step 7 Premier League into senior football. They've had to move out of the existing ground, which I think is a bit of a shame. You lose a bit of your identity. You become just a club playing at another club's ground. These 2 clubs are fortunate they've got their own facilities and they can move up and stay in their home.
Yeah, perfect. What are the biggest challenges clubs face when trying to meet the step 6 requirements? I think we pointed a little bit out there with regards to facilities and that sort of thing. But what are the main challenges, obviously?
Well, assuming you've got the facilities with the lights and the ground and all that, then it comes down to cost. You know, just the match officials, you're looking at probably 4 times the cost of match officials to put on a game, because you're now looking at 3 match officials, not 1. Yeah. And so match officials, the costs of the actual league costs. We're actually a very cheap league to enter. Yeah. Our costs are very low. So the overheads for a club needs to form a team in our Mid-Sussex League. You don't need a lot of money to do that. But the combination league, their costs of just entering the club and should you be unfortunate to pick up any fines, are an order of magnitude more than us. So they've got to be on a good financial footing with the right facilities. And again, we come back to players. Well, the expectation in the Mid-Sussex League, we're looking at effectively grassroots football. The vast majority of players pay money to play football every week. You know, they pay a match fee, possibly a club membership fee. You move into step 6, senior football, the expectation there is that they'll be playing for nothing, and even maybe getting a small amount for expenses to play. So clubs have got to be prepared for that.